OCs, you know them, we love them. But have you ever actually had somebody walk up to you and say, wow, I love your little guys? Because I'm going crazy and I need to talk about that with you today. So, hi. My name is Mimi, otherwise known as Nightly Affair. I am an OC artist. And in today's video, we're going to talk about what it means to be an OC artist and how I got here to the point of a lot of y'all knowing my characters a crazy amount. It's insane. But before my rambling train leaves this station, I want to give a huge shout out to Arrtx for sponsoring this video. They reached out to me and asked if I wanted to try their set of 90 alcohol markers. Oh my god. So I'm going to be using Arrtx's OROS set today, and if you're interested in checking them out, they have an Amazon Prime Day sale where you can get 15 to 20% off from June 23rd to the 26th. Now, I have some old alcohol marker art I've done in the past, and I've even had some that I've done way in the past. And by the past, I mean, oh god. I think even 15-year-old me looked at this and went, that's not me. But I'm back for redemption. I'm back. And I'm so excited to try these markers and share my experience with you. And at first, I wasn't sure if I should use this smaller sketchbook I've held onto or this big one, which I painted the cover of in a previous video. But I think a big set of 90 alcohol markers deserves a big sketchbook, so we're going to use my big one today. So Arrtx sent me their OROS series of alcohol markers, and I have set B, which has this really, really nice brush tip. Great for blending, by the way. And then on the other end of the marker is a chisel tip, which is great for covering large areas very, very quickly. It's so much more efficient than using the brush side. So, being honest, I really don't have anything bad to say about these markers, especially as somebody who grew up in the Copic marker craze, and it was very expensive. So these are really affordable, and honestly, if you've been looking to get some alcohol markers, I highly recommend picking up a set of these. When I picked these markers up for the first time, I was honestly shocked at how comfortable they were to hold. I'm like, oh my god, my hands aren't going to die when I draw. Which means a lot, honestly, as somebody who probably should loosen up my grip on my pencil. But hey, a lot of tablet pens are very not ergonomic, so I'm grateful that at least these are really nice to hold. So swatching these took me like an hour, and the color selection is actually like really nice. There's so many, and if there's a color you don't see, there's colors you can use to make that color, and it's actually like really great. I showed off some of my old alcohol marker art that I probably did when I was still in high school. I'm old. That's it. That's the joke. I'm old. But my skills weren't really up to par with how they are now, so I'm excited to try again. I've even done some swatching in the actual sketchbook I'm going to use, so I can see how it kind of interacts with the paper itself. So this is the chisel tip side of the marker, and this is the brush tip side. I find blending a lot easier with the brush tip side, and I even did a little example here, but I wanted to do another demo of how I use alcohol markers to blend because I've been asked this in the past when I did a marker portrait. So all you really need to blend your colors is the colors you want and then the colorless marker, which also is the 0 marker in this set, also known as the colorless blender. It is able to mix these colors because it doesn't have any pigment in itself. It's literally a colorless blender. So get used to seeing this little clear marker. It's my best friend. It is invited to my wedding. It's literally essential for blending colors. I'm going to do this one more time with a different set of colors. I'm going to pick this really faded light green and then this really, really deep blue. And the process is essentially the same. I'm just laying down my lighter colors first. I'm then laying down the deeper blue, and then I'm going in with a colorless blender. Occasionally then it's like going in with a lighter green, going over. It's kind of like forcing it to blend. It will blend, but you gotta do the effort to make it blend. But yeah, so honestly, it's a very simple process. It does require a little bit of quickness though. I kind of keep the same markers in my hands while I'm blending so I can go back and then grab them and then use them, because otherwise I feel like it just doesn't really work as well. I feel like working wet on wet and trying to keep the page wet really helps it blend a lot more. So, alcohol markers bleed. We all know this. I was gonna work on this page and I kind of didn't want to waste the page, so I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna try and work around it. And without any further ado, if you're curious about any of the supplies I use in the video, I'll put it in the description, and the ramble train is gonna leave the station. First stop, what do you mean you like the guys I made up in my head? What do you mean? But genuinely, back to the topic of OCs, this has been something I wanted to talk about for a while, but I guess I never really felt like I had any sort of spoons in this kind of topic because I never really thought my OCs were anything that anybody ever really thought about. I was just doing it for the love of the game. And then I turned around and there's like, I hit 20,000 on YouTube. I hit 14K on Instagram in the span of like a week. And I'm kind of insane. I think I'm insane, guys. Especially because I'm not drawing popular fan art. I'm drawing things in my head I made up. And if you don't know the things in my head I made up, I'm drawing one of them now. His name is Matt. He's a prince. I love him, and there's really no other way to say how much I love him other than the fact that he made me realize I had undiagnosed ADHD. But I want to add an addendum to that and say that I apparently was already diagnosed, but he made me remember. Well, actually, no, I never remembered. I forgot. And then I was like, hey, I think I have ADHD. And they're like, well, you already have that. And I'm like, oh my God. So I'm drawing the younger version of Matt. And when I say younger, he's probably about like 23. And I have art of Matt's older design, which I'm not going to draw today, but I'll put it on the screen. Because sometimes I've actually had people confused and they're like, wait, these are the same character? And I'm like, yeah, they are. Yes, they are. But I don't know how much I'll explain because I have plans. I'm tapping my fingers together. I have plans. So instead of sitting here talking about them and maybe spoiling some of their story, I'm just going to read a summary I wrote for something or nothing in particular. Prince Matthias is the heir to the throne of Midgard, a city ruled under the power of light for centuries. When his father dies abruptly after his 23rd birthday, Matthias fears this newfound responsibility. Emil, Matthias' royal knight and closest friend, has always dreamed of a quiet life, which Matthias seemed to agree upon. In a heat-of-the-moment decision, Emil risks everything to leave Midgard with Matthias, but everything goes awry. After all, Matthias was never able to live up to expectations, where he was never blessed with the warm and radiant power of the sun, but rather the cold and mysterious power of the moon. Matthias and Emil believe they can write their own destiny together, but a cruel separation has set them on different paths in life. When a chance meeting brings them together again, everything should fall back into place, except for the fact that Matthias doesn't recognize Emil. Dude, I got chills. I crack myself up. What the fuck do I mean I got chills? I wrote that shit. But I think that's why it's even crazier that people come up to me and they're like, I like this. And I'm like, huh? What? I'm gonna put the brakes on that for a second and just explain what I'm doing on the screen. I'm taking materials I usually use, or what I would kind of think to really use with alcohol markers, because I just did a really nice sketch. And I don't want to die if I line it in something that smudges. You understand me? I think we understand. But I did this for my own sanity and also so you can kind of see how these alcohol markers kind of hold up with different materials. So I took a blue that I'm going to use later on and I went over the colored lead pencil, for instance, that I used for the sketch. Ballpoint pen. I was actually surprised fountain pen kind of took this really well. I was thinking of using that, but I ended up going with colored pencil because it's, I don't know, I just kind of really like how it gives it like a soft look. Regular pencil, we're just gonna move on. I was thinking of using the micron pen, probably the 01 size, since my micron pen is like a little bit dried up. The Faber-Castell, it took a first layer, but the second layer made it smudge. And the Tombow actually was really nice. But you can see they kind of all bled through the cardstock I'm using. That's not really a surprise, honestly. We're used to that by now. It was at this point, though, that I couldn't really decide between fountain pen, a good old colored pencil, and my Micron. So I did a test where I kind of made the shittiest version of matte I've ever drawn in my life. And then I would actually use the colors that I wanted to use instead of just using like one blue marker and deciding there. So I went in with a skin tone for him first. I did it on all of them. You can just kind of see that I'm trying to make it as realistic as how I would use them as possible. So I was even trying to get his hair color correct, and I was layering like a blue marker and a lavender one, and I'm like, oh boy, let's see how this holds up. So again, it's just going in with the color I plan to use for his hair in the actual art, and then praying that nothing would smudge or else I will cry. This was a nice little way to see exactly how my supplies interact, because honestly, I'm a multimedia person. I'm not... If I draw something, you bet your ass I have a gel pen on my desk. I'm ready to use it. I don't care. But I was trying to decide between the Micron and the colored pencil, because I love how the colored pencil looks. And I thought, okay, well, what if I go over the colored pencil with a Micron? And let's just say my plans change. You'll see at the end, when you think I'm done, I'm not done. You'll see. But yes, colored pencil one, yay! So I'm going to line all my stuff with colored pencil. And you see that big blob of alcohol marker that bled through from the previous page? Watch where it goes in the span of a minute. This actually really surprised me. I'm kind of glad I was able to find a solution. But back to OCs. So I gave you guys a little rundown on what is kind of like the little summary of my OC story without really spoiling anything, because I have plans. I said it before, I have plans. But you'll hear and see more in the future. And since I can't really show you the future right now, I thought it was a good time to talk about my past. My past! And I need like a mysterious sound effect. But what I say by my past in kind of relation to this whole, oh my god, why do people like my OCs as an OC artist? I grew up on the internet in the days of DeviantArt, back when they were actually nice, actually good to use, and before it turned into complete utter shit. I use DeviantArt. I love DeviantArt. I love it. I miss it. I miss when it was good. I'm just gonna leave it as it's not good, and it's really hard because there won't be anything ever like it. And if you try to say, but what about this? I'm just gonna be like, no. It's so hard to put into words, but you just had to be there. You had to be there. But if you were there, you would have known, well, probably not. I had 2 followers in a dream. But metaphorically, you would have known that I drew my OCs. Now, back at the time, I didn't have Emil and Matt. I had ponies, 2 DeviantArt points, and a llama, and that's it. I had a llama in a dream, dude. I really thought I was gonna make money off of commissions, but we were going around sending each other 2 cents for fully finished artworks, and it was bad. DeviantArt did a lot of damage, but I still loved it. But yeah, so I drew my OCs and I would post them on DeviantArt. Granted, I didn't have a tablet, I had a mouse. And so what I would do was use bases other people made for like My Little Pony characters, and also like the occasional actual anime base. And I would just make it my OCs, pony or not. But it was nice. It was a nice time because like I was just drawing my OCs with a bunch of other kids online, and we all kind of just did that. Like that was normal. And it was normal to comment on each other's work and like be nice and just be like, oh, I like your character. Can I draw your character with my character? And it was great. And it was just so much fun. And I never really expected it to get bigger than that. Even though I'm still drawing OCs 15 years later and I'm not like 10 and I'm actually a 25-year-old man. And I play Barbie dolls in my head. That's why people know me. And that's insane. I honestly cannot put into words how insane it feels. I think the only way I can explain it is kind of like the perspective of fan art versus original art. It's like the masses. I'm just going to refer to them as the masses. The masses will always lean towards familiarity because they know this thing. They've seen this thing. They've heard of this popular thing. And for people to kind of appreciate my art and my characters in the same sense of that they have like this canon, even though they don't, it's crazy. It's really crazy. I've said this before, but it genuinely feels like I'm sitting in the corner, pointed at the corner, fully facing the corner, playing with dolls of my own character. And there's just a crowd of people standing behind me on the other side of the room watching, and they're clapping. And I'm like, what? Because I turn around and I'm like, wait, what? You guys like me playing with toys? It scares me so much, but it's also very, very, very endearing. I'm gonna be real. It's just crazy because I'm speaking from my heart here. I've done this for years. I've never done this with the incentive of, oh, I want people to like my characters. I've never felt that way. I never wanted to force anybody to like my OCs. I've kind of just been happy being in my own little world. Like, as you can tell, when I started this channel, I was posting the most random shit. I was posting my homework for college. I was posting animations I did because I enjoyed animating my OCs. I didn't know how to animate. I learned to animate because I love my OCs so much that I could be the only person in the fucking world who would ever talk about them ever, and I would still do it because it makes me happy. I think that's why it's even more crazy to me that this kind of reception around my art and my characters and my storytelling has kind of been insanely insane. Like, I don't know what else to call it. It's because I never went out and said, I'm going to be a popular OC artist. I just woke up and I'm like, I like drawing my characters. I'm going to draw my characters because they make me smile. But that's genuinely all I've ever done. Like, I've never made characters with other people in mind. Like I see some of these videos floating around that I, honest to God, think they're stupid as fuck. I'm gonna be so real. Maybe this is mean of me to say, but I see videos that are like, how to make OCs people like. And side note, as Artfight is coming up, I've seen a lot more of these, how to make people care about your OCs, how to make reference sheets people actually like to look at, how to make your OCs basically be liked and appeal to everyone. And maybe it's a dick move of me to say this, but it's stupid. Don't do that. You should make art that you enjoy, and literally only you enjoy. You don't have to think about anybody else when you make your art. And like, I get that there's kids online, and also probably some young adults, etc., teenagers, who just want their art to be recognized by people. And that's fine. We all want like people to at least tell us, hey, this looks good after you spend fucking 8 hours on something. But I think going into making art and making characters and making stories, you can't appeal to everyone. That's impossible. Everybody's different. There are going to be people who hate something. You cannot make the perfect character. You just have to make the character for you. That's That's all I'm gonna say. It's a recent, I don't know, art YouTube thing I've seen, and I'm just like, that's probably the worst advice you could give a child with blossoming creativity. Let's just be real. Draw what you like. Don't draw what other people tell you to draw. I'm gonna stop going on a tangent for a second and kind of explain a little bit what I've done with the hair, because you've probably seen me put down a million different colors and you're like, what are you doing? What? And I'm like, I don't know. Honestly, the blue I picked was a very nice blue, but it wasn't like the right color, for instance, of Matt's hair. So I kind of tested a bunch of different swatches of other markers that like might work well with that blue. And since yellow is a complementary color of blue, well, like orange, it's kind of like a little bit more like an orangey yellow, but it's still in that same range. I'm like, oh yes, yellow, let me use yellow. And it left this kind of like nice little look to it. And then of course I just went over with lavender. I found lavender was kind of like my darker shading color I used a lot. But yes, that part was done. Honestly, that's my solution to B-roll. If you see that later on in the video, it's just my phone. Yeah. So I was trying to figure out, because I had this whole page of the swatches that bled through to the other side, and I kind of just didn't want to leave it because I'm like, oh, well, I have this entire nice page here. What do I put on the other side? And it was fucked up and evil of me to not give Matt his partner a meal. So you know what? I took a piece of cardstock and I'm like, I will rectify this mistake I have gravely made. Emil would jump out of my art and attack me otherwise for separating him from Matt. Again, I'm sorry, Emil. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I think if my OCs were real, they would kill me. I would be in the town square, executed, crazy style, because, I really done a lot to them, haven't I? I think they would hate me, but it's okay, because you know what? I forgive them, even though they're not real. But yeah, I'm gonna draw on the cardstock. Amazing. So getting back on the topic of, I guess we could say making art without yourself in mind, first and foremost, especially OCs. I think it's really detrimental to what you can do and what you put out as an OC artist, if that is the case, because instead of telling, I don't know, I guess like a story from your heart, what you really want to tell, you're kind of just going based off of what other people say is popular, and it's influencing you to tell a story that's not really yours. Now, I've been asked a few times before where I came up with my OC story. And somebody, I remember this, I think I got like an inbox message where it's like, how'd you come up with your story? Here's what you should add. And I'm like, they gave me like a whole genre of like a world that was completely not what my story was. And it was like steampunk. And I'm like, well, no. Thanks for asking a question mark? But genuinely, how did I kind of like get to this point with my OCs? How did I make their story? That's been like a question that people have asked me quite a bit. I've even been asked like what mediums or like what show, game, etc. directly inspired Emil and Matt. And honestly, there's no like one easy answer. It's just like an amalgamation of things I love, stories I like, concepts I like, myself, my personal experiences in life, not in a direct, oh, this happened to me way, but I guess you could say it's kind of like abstract, like very abstract. So It's just like very personal, honestly. Things I love in me, which I also like. But genuinely, it's just been a crazy labor of love to get where I am. I never really set out, again, I never set out to post something with somebody or an audience in mind. I was just like, this is cool. I'm gonna draw this for myself. And if anybody else happens to enjoy it, then it's a plus. And if somebody doesn't like it, it's fine, because I drew it for myself first and foremost anyway. And I really wish a lot of artists would get that mindset instead of being so hyper-focused, fixated on numbers and only looking at numbers and not really looking at the fact that, like, you made something and that's sick as hell. Like, what? You birthed this into existence with your own hands. Or if you don't draw with your hands, you birthed it into existence anyway, and it's really cool. So, love your art more. Love yourself more. And I talk kind of frequently about how I really love my own characters. And even when I was talking about my DeviantArt days, I didn't have these characters 10, 15 years ago. I had them, honestly, 2020. I think I made them in 2020. And they were originally side characters in a different story. Like, Emil and Matt were completely not the main focus. It was actually Emil's son. When I'm saying Emil's son, I'm talking about, like, this is like prototype story. This is not relevant anymore. It's just a little bit of background information. But yeah, so I guess you could call the plot of my old story, that is scrapped. I have to put a giant label, scrapped. I don't do this anymore. Was that it was like an isekai. But instead of Emil and Matt being the focus, Emil's son and his group of friends were transported to another world where Emil actually ended up when he went missing from Earth planet years and years and years ago. But yeah, it's like a whole RPG sort of plot sort of thing. Matt was like this character from this isekai world. Emil was the one isekai'd originally, and they were not the main focus. They didn't have names. They didn't have names for the longest time. But I drew this one animation, and if you've seen the videos on my channel, you might have seen it, but it's the video, the animatic I made of Emil and Matt to the song Our Way Out by Nico Collins. And I think that was really the turning point here for me. That's where I realized, oh my God, I don't want to play with you anymore at my old OCs. I was like, oh, I love these two. I love them. Look how far they've come. But yes, genuinely, since this is a question I honestly get asked a lot, like, oh, what is their story? When literally all I just said about like isekai, that was a prototype story from 6 years ago. That's not relevant. Nothing I just said was relevant. It's just like a little bit of OC development history, not actually relevant to who they are as people. But yeah, so these guys have been around for honestly longer than most people know them. I've had Prince characters in the past. I've definitely had art of them. Don't know where it went, but it's not like a recent concept or development for me. I didn't just say like, oh, this could be a popular trope, which actually, apparently it isn't. I maybe I'm just too in my own world that I didn't know people actually don't have there's not a lot of like media, there's not a lot of comics, there's not a lot of web comics, there's not a lot of shows, etc. About like princes and knights. It's actually more common for it to be like a king and a knight, but I'm a little fucked up in the head, so I think that dynamic is kind of not as interesting as like a prince and a knight, because then it's like, well, we can't get caught, because if you're the king and you're being homosexual with your knight, it's like, well, you can just be like, off with that guy's head, he saw me kiss my man, and it's like, well, that's not what's happening here. There's a very much a driving force against their whole entire relationship. And if Matt's father, the king, saw him with Emil, I think Emil would have been thrown into the dungeon maybe like 5 years sooner. It's like, I'm sorry, man, I'm sorry, you just can't. You can't be doing that in the Grand Hall. But yes, so like I didn't make them with the incentive of being like, oh, this is a popular trope. People are gonna love this. People are gonna love my OCs, and they're gonna want to make me fan art, and they're gonna want to make me fanfics and make me art, and I'm gonna be the most popular OC artist in the world. And it's like, well, actually, I'm scared when people look at me. I've actually explained kind of like the feelings of having other people tell me, like other artists in particular, tell me that my work inspires them, which is crazy. But I've phrased it a certain way, and it's honestly the only way I think I can explain it to people who aren't in that position. So all my life, even the DeviantArt days, I've looked up to other artists online, them in general, for what they do, for how they make art, for literally everything. And it's a weird feeling. Like, I kind of feel like almost in a physical sense that everybody is slowly walking forward. And I'm walking forward as I look at these people who are so far ahead of me down this like walkway. And those people ahead of me are these amazing artists who I look up to. And when I look at them over the years, I stopped looking forward, and instead I'm looking around me as I feel like I've joined up with those group of people who inspired me, because genuinely some of those people are my peers now, and it's crazy. And then it's just an insane feeling. But on top of that, I feel like somebody's tapping my shoulder as I'm still walking in this group of people now. And I turn around, and it's somebody telling me that they love my art just as much as I love the art that inspired me when I was young. And it's crazy. It almost feels like I honestly, that's probably the only way I can say it. It's crazy to go from somebody who looked up to people, a lot of artists online, and then have people turn around and tell me, like 10 years later, you're my favorite artist, or I love your characters. You do a lot of work that inspires me. You've made me want to share my art. You've made me want to tell my story. You've made me comfortable in my own body through your art and how you depict Matt as a trans man. Just being himself makes me euphoric. And I'm not trying to cry right now. I cannot cry. But honestly, I don't think there's a bigger compliment you can tell an artist other than your art makes me want to draw. And it's so crazy. I have a lot of feelings about art in this day and age of fucking AI bullshit, but one of my main beliefs is that art is important now more than ever, especially original art, beginner art people just want to tell a story about, like a story from their art. And I really sincerely hate that even now there's still people telling all these people with their like new creative spark, their reignited creative spark, you gotta draw this or nobody will like your art and nobody will care. or your art sucks if it doesn't look this way. And it's like, I want to grab every single person who has said those kind of things and put out those videos and fucking squeeze you like those pen toppers I got at the Scholastic Book Fair 10 years ago, because, oh my God, I'm gonna get you. That's so mean. Why are you saying this? I think what upsets me most about this topic is that a lot of the people who do watch those videos and they're like, well, I want to be better at art, I want to be better at storytelling, are people who are just kids, or they're just new to art, or they're not confident in their art. And I think telling people how they should put out their art, what they should put into it, isn't a person on YouTube's decision to make. Like, or any site, or TikTok. God, especially TikTok. Don't get me started. I just think art is precious. All art is precious. I don't care if you started drawing today or you started drawing 20 years ago. Your art matters. And you don't need somebody to tell you how to tell that story you want to tell. Just do it. I'm like turning into a motivational speaker right now. And I don't doubt that there are people who are going to see me say all this and think it's just like, oh, it's optimistic bullshit, and still ask me like, oh, but like, what's the real reason? Like, how did you actually get your art out there? Why do people actually remember your OCs? Why can't they look at mine? And it's like, well, one, that wasn't my intention. That's like a side effect. I'm not even joking. It's pure luck that it happened. But honestly, I think I like to say in my head that the reason it might have happened is that people liked how excited I was about my own art. Like, it kind of feels like people saw me being my own biggest fan and they're like, hey, what are you cheering about? And I'm like, my characters. And then they're like, oh, cool, you're having fun. Let me join you. And it feels like it happened from like what seemed like such a large scale already. And by large scale, I mean like 20 likes on an OC post to now like almost 30K on art I make. And I know numbers aren't everything, but it does give me like a weird, like, I'm like, oh my God, that's a lot. 20 people was a lot. Who are you? But genuinely, I didn't do anything. I didn't strategize. Fuck strategy. I suck at strategy games in general. I don't play Risk. I just remembered Fire Emblem Awakening is a strategy game. That's like my favorite game. I also like Picross, or is it Picross? I thought it would be Picross because it's like a picture, but I like Picross, but that's a puzzle game, but it does take a little bit of strategy. So forget what I said. Not about loving yourself. Don't forget about that. Just forget about the fact that I said I suck at strategy games. Oh, I'm looking at my Krabben wall, my gay Krabben wall, and I'm like, wow, that really was the game that changed everything. You know what? I changed my answer before. What inspired your OCs? Fire Emblem Awakening. There's a lot more, but you know, I gotta say it. I gotta say that. Shout out to Krabben. I love you, if I've ever. So at this point, I've now finished the marker section of the cardstock. I'm gonna go back and do the two doodles of matte. But as you can see, I kind of left everything else in this like soft colored pencil, like orangey colored pencil, unfinished looking sort of state, at least to me. That's not how this art turns out. You'll see when I did my test earlier, trying to figure out like what was the best material to use for lines, for like to like complement the markers in a sense. And I picked colored pencil, and I picked an orange one because I'm like, oh, that'd be great for like the I guess you could almost call it like the first layer of it. It's not where I was gonna just end with lines and colored pencil. Like after I did the markers, I was obviously gonna go back in and do more. But it does look a little bit silly right now. Like genuinely, it's unfinished. But oh my god, I am so excited for you guys to see what happens when I go back and add my special materials, because oh my god, it really, really came out like this is like my magnum opus of alcohol marker art, and I am so grateful Arrtx sent me them, because I'm like, yes. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. Alcohol markers were the one thing not in my collection. I have a really, really, really old set of Copic alcohol markers, the Copic sketch, that I had since high school, I think. Yeah. But little old me didn't realize that I should not take my alcohol markers to school at the height of the Copic popularity. I know, you already know where this story is going. Unfortunately, I had them in my pencil case, and because my bag was big as shit, oh my god, those textbooks they made us carry, I had back pain. I'm not even joking. That shit sucked forever. I'm permanently in a shrimp pose from all those freaking textbooks they made us carry, because we didn't have time to go back in between classes to go to our locker to grab textbooks, because it was a fucking like multiple floor high school. This just sucked. Anyway, but yeah, so I had my pencil case out, like I was carrying it from class to class, and unfortunately I left it under that little like gap. Like it had like a little like nook in the desk. Like underneath the seat there was a little place you could put like your textbooks and stuff. So I would put some of the textbooks I carried in there, and also my pencil case, since I would use it during class. Unfortunately, the one time I left that pencil case in this literally never happened prior. The one time I brought my Copics to school was the one time I left that pencil case under that desk, and I didn't realize right away. I think I realized like 10 minutes into the next class. Or it was like after the next class I realized. And it was when we got let out for like lunch or something before classes would resume. And I was like, oh shit, I think I left my pencil case in this classroom in last period or something. And so I think as soon as I got to my next class, like the one after that, I asked the teacher, hey, can I just run back to this class? I think I left like all my shit in this person's class. So they're like, okay, just be back in like 5 minutes. I'm like, okay, cool. And I went back and I ran down, well, no, I didn't run down the hall, God forbid, fuck that school. But I went and I went in and I'm like, oh. And as soon as I opened the door to that classroom, I quickly looked under the desk where I was sitting, because I sat right by the door. It would be right there. And I saw my pencil case was not under the desk where I left it. And I was like, oh, fuck. And then I turned to my teacher, and then he's like, is that your pencil case? And it was on like the chalkboard. It was sitting on where the chalk went. And I'm like, oh, and I was like so relieved. And I was like, oh my God, nobody took it. And then when I brought it back to my next class, when I brought the pencil case back to my next class and I sat down and I opened it, I saw the 5 or 6 Copic markers I had. They were the only ones I had, were missing. somebody went through that entire pencil case, saw the pretty markers, and then was like, oh, these are mine now. And I'm like, fuck. Luckily, though, it was around my birthday. Kind of shitty thing to happen around my birthday, but my mom was very kind, and we went to Blick's to go grab me some more to make up for it. And I never took them to school again. I learned my lesson. I didn't do that. Don't take your expensive art supplies to school, kids, I say, as I'm not in school anymore. But it's not that I didn't really have alcohol markers, because obviously I just said I got like a whole set after the fact that like my other ones got stolen. But it was kind of like, well, let's see. If I were to open that case I have of them right now, because I still have them, few of them work. Few of them are dried up. Few of them won't stop leaking if I try to use them, and that sucks. And honestly, I was a kid, so I didn't really know what colors to pick, because like when my mom brought me to Blick, she's like, okay, you can pick 30 or something. It might have been closer, like 20. And I was like, okay, yay. And I didn't think practicality wise of what colors I picked. Obviously, I wasn't really like, I mean, I've been drawing all my life, but color theory has always escaped me. It doesn't now, but little old me was like, well, I want yellow, this bright yellow, like the yellow on my fucking like sleeve in my art right now, in the screen, like the yellow on your screen. And it's like, okay, but I didn't grab anything else to go with that. I would pick like base colors, not colors I could use with each other to accentuate and further push those base colors to like all the spectacular colors they could be. So genuinely, I have so many like random color markers that just don't mix. So honest to God, when I got that email from Arrtx and they're like, hey, do you want to try our markers? I'm like, dude, yes. Please send them to me. I will cry. It's been like a crazy sort of event, to the point where my art is kind of perceived by people to the point that art companies even want to reach out and work with me. That's really cool. I don't know. I feel kind of like in this weird state of like, I feel like I'm sitting on success, or I'm sitting on a good idea, but for the longest time it's been just because I felt like I liked my idea. If you've seen like my older videos, I went by a different username, and only recently did I kind of like realize that I might want to take my art more seriously. I don't know. I've never really realized, or I never really settled on what I wanted to do for like a job as an artist. I was just like, when I was young, I think I have a picture. If I have it, I'll put it on screen. But one of the things I had when I was really young, and I don't even mean like DeviantArt days, I mean like sitting at a table with crayons and colored pencils, unaware the internet even exists, and I love Kingdom Hearts, and that's it. And it's like, I just drew. And I did that for a long time. I just kept drawing, and I never knew what I wanted to be. I was like, oh, well, I want to be an artist when I grow up. And that was the picture that I drew. I drew like a little birdhouse, and surprisingly, pretty nice for something I drew when I must have been like 5 years old. And it's always been very prominent in my life. Like, art has been something I've always done. I don't think I can remember, like you know how like when you're a kid, you don't really remember like when you were 2? It's like, that's me, but like, I don't think there was a time that I remember where I didn't draw. And it's kind of like a strange thing to think about. Like, I started to draw because my grandma was an artist and she taught me to draw. I would sit at her kitchen table with her golf pencil. I found her pencil, the one she taught me to draw with, which is kind of crazy. And for the longest time, I've just been interested in drawing because it's fun. And it's like, I had that kind of support system from people in my family, and especially my grandma, who would just tell me, you can draw really good. I remember my mom saying years later, so like probably when I was like 16 or something, she told me like, yeah, I've always known you can draw. It's crazy. It's like you were the kid in like kindergarten who was trying to draw realistic features on people's faces while the kid next to you was drawing stick figures. And I'm like, oh God, Mom, that's kind of mean. But I don't know. It's just kind of like evidence that I've been interested in drawing since I was really young. Like, the reason I was drawing those realistic features with like the most anime looking like style ever was that like I wanted to draw. I asked my grandma to teach me how to draw. And since then, I just never stopped drawing. It's crazy. And I talk about my past as a little kid drawing because that's always been the point of why I draw. I've never drawn with the intention of being like, oh, I want people to look at this and then tell me it's good or whatever. Like, I drew because it was fun, and I would literally spend hours. Not even hours. I would spend time like sitting on the floor of my living room or my bedroom, and I would draw in things that weren't meant to be drawn on, like school notebooks, and make up entire comics before like I was told dinner was ready. But I still really enjoy making comics. And a lot of people have asked me over the years, as my OCs have kind of, I guess, gained popularity, are you gonna make a comic? Where's the comic? And I'm like, for a long time I said there wasn't one, but I've got something in the works. But it's a passion project. I'm not doing it because anybody told me. I'm doing it because it is what I wanted to do for a long time, actually. When I said I was a kid and I wanted to be an artist, that was the truth. I really didn't know. But before I went back to a case of not knowing what I wanted to do, I said for a while I wanted to be a manga artist, and It never happened. Honestly, I didn't know. I kind of went back to that state of like, I don't know what I want to do. There's so many things. Undiagnosed ADHD. Can you tell? I couldn't, apparently. But yeah, so it's like I'm finally like listening to myself. I'm not doing this because people ask me to. I'm doing it because honestly, I've always wanted to do it. It's just I wasn't ready then. And I realized being ready isn't something that will ever happen. It's something that you just gotta do. Because ready isn't a feeling, it's a fucking action. You just gotta do it. So do it. You have something you want to do, just do it. I'm really grateful for honestly what everybody has said to me about like my art, how it makes them feel, that they like it. And it's like, what? I can say over and over again, what the hell? But it's such a strange feeling. I've tried to explain it to like my family before, and they're not artists. So my explanation to them was like, okay, it's weird to have this happen because sure, if somebody draws fan art for something, like let's say somebody drew, I don't know, Star Wars fan art, and their art gets a lot of reach and it gets popular because of that, It's because there's already an existing audience of people who know what Star Wars is. I'm not. I've never seen Star Wars and I don't care to. But for the sake of this example, it's like existing media. And I hate to call it media. Refer to things by their title, please. But it's like it already exists. People are familiar with it. There's that level of familiarity, again, as I mentioned, that makes people more inclined to enjoy fan art rather than engaging with original work. And it kind of sucks, honestly, like from a general standpoint, that people aren't willing to kind of step out of their comfort zone to do new things, to put themselves in the shoes of a main character that doesn't represent them. I'm looking at you, Book Talk. But yeah, it's crazy. And trying to explain that to people is like, yeah, I'm not drawing things people know, but people still like them anyway, which is kind of cool. We're almost at our final destination of, wow, this is insane that it happened to me. What? You guys like my characters? And then once we reach there, we'll have to get off the train. But let's just talk a little bit about the art on screen for a second, instead of me going on another tangent. I'm going back in now, as you can see, with a blue, like a dark blue colored pencil, specifically Prismacolor. I think it literally, it just said it's like blue violet. So it's like a really deep blue. Now, I was hesitating to actually go back and use like the Micron pen because it looks so soft. All the markers made my art look so pretty. And I'm like, no, I don't want to use like stark like black lines unless maybe it's like in between like the bends. But I was like, let me just do a darker blue first, because I've done this before, where I think I did a marker portrait and I tried using colored pencil as like the first like line art, like how some people use Micron and then they just use that as their guidelines for when doing like alcohol marker art. I don't do that anymore. I find my process is a lot more sketchy and loose, especially when it's traditional. So I genuinely was like, let's just keep it with colored pencils, see where it goes from there. And yeah, so that's what I did. And you don't know how happy I am to have just stuck with like the blue colored pencil as the like overlayer line art of everything, because oh my God, I feel like I would have ruined it if I actually did the Micron. Maybe not like ruined it, but it wouldn't have come out like, I don't know. It feels like very ethereal to me when I look at it, like the colors, the yellows and the blues. And I'm like, oh, I feel like this is like a summer piece to me, even though it's not really focused on summer. But I really like it. It came out so cute. Oh. I will say though that like I've cut out so much footage of me sharpening the pencils because they would keep breaking, because like obviously to do this kind of like really dark fine lines you want a sharp pencil, and I swear to God, sharpening pencils is like my worst nightmare. Like at some point, I think near the end, I'm like, I'll just make it blunt. I don't care. It's fine. So I'm far enough into this entire piece that I can honestly, confidently say I really love these markers. Honestly, no cons here. The only thing I would say is like, oh, I wish I could put the other side of the cap on the marker. But then again, I don't think any alcohol markers have ever done that. So honestly, they're great. So yay. And you can see I'm using like a white gel pen. I used to use the Jelly Roll gel pens, but I had the opportunity because I think there was a sale on like a pack of these Uniball white gel pens, and I feel like I can never go back. They don't dry up. I'm so happy. I'm like genuinely so happy with this. I love this pen. And I'm doing like a white border around all the art of Matt to kind of like separate and ground him in a sense, because like there are just like 2 portraits of him floating there. While I kind of did add a little bit of a background, so I kind of wanted to like separate them a little bit, but not like an insane amount. And I was trying to fix his mouth in that one piece because I never really liked how the lines came out finally. So I go back and fix it, but yeah. So this is the last portrait. Well, I guess it's a portrait. It's more like a bust of Emil and Matt. And I was like, you don't know how happy I am that I actually went back and added him, because otherwise it would have just been the first page and I would have just had the blank but bleed through other side of the page left there the whole time. So I went back in. Again, I'm going back in with like my blue colored pencil to kind of like accentuate, bring back those lines that kind of got lost when I was doing the marker part of this. And honestly, I like the orange and blue because those are really the true contrasting colors here. Like, the reason I picked blue is because I picked an orange underlayer. I guess you wouldn't really call it an underlayer, but I guess like that like beginning sketchy line art. And when it kind of overlays over each other, it looks really like interesting. Like, I love the effect. But yeah, my process is like essentially the same. It's just sketch in like a light, I guess. I kind of tend to use colored lead more, so I guess my process is sketching in like a light colored lead, erasing it down to where I can still kind of see what's going on, going over that with like, for instance, well, in this case, a colored pencil, an orange colored pencil, then doing the marker, the alcohol marker section, kind of like shading from the face and then outwards. The face kind of gives me like a sense of like, oh, I kind of want like the blush to be here. This will set how like dark I shade the rest of everything as well. Because there was a point earlier when I kind of messed up a little, going a little bit too hard with the color of Splendor to the point I almost picked up the color on Matt's face in this piece especially. So I kind of just went back and kind of darkened everything, for instance, to keep it like coherent. I don't know what happened towards the end of this, I guess because the sun was setting. Also, oh my god, the lighting. Also, my solution for B-roll is on the side of the screen right now. So that was probably causing the shadow, but it was really pretty for a while. Yeah, I mentioned it earlier, but I used my old phone as side roll footage, and like, you know what? It works. I'll do it. It works. And there's my orange colored pencil. I really like that for blush. It kind of resembles like my digital process, for example, because I have like a darker outline, like all the lines touching the outside of the character that like are just there, I do darker. And then the inner parts of the character, like around the neck, the blush, the eyes, almost, I kind of do like a lighter color with my line art. But oh, I'm so happy with how this came out. It's so cute. Oh, look, it's fucking aesthetic. It's so aesthetic right now. Why? Oh, but yeah, it was such a fun little like spread to do. I need to draw my sketchbook more. I'm always saying that, and then I never do. Sometimes I do. I gotta get more into it. But oh, I love this. And now I took the business card Arrtx gave me and I stuck it in here as a little reminder that they sent these markers to me. And I made all this cute art with it. And I finally had the opportunity to use my label maker that I got for Christmas again. And it came with like different colored tape labels. So I printed out a little bit of like their ship name. Then I printed out a little bit of dialogue. So like Matt is stuttering Emil's name. And then I swapped it to a green one because it came with green, and you know me, green and blue are Emil and Matt's colors respectively. So I kind of used them as like little speech bubbles for them. And oh my god, I keep looking at this and I'm like, I'm so happy. You don't understand. I even like went all out. I took like old stationery, I took old stamps. I just had a lot of fun with this. And It came out so pretty. And thank you for watching. And thank you, Arrtx, for sponsoring this video. So I'm gonna do more art stuff in the future, but if you have any ideas, like what you want to see from me, let me know in the comments. But yeah, definitely bleeds through, but that's as expected with alcohol markers. But if you enjoyed this video, you should like and subscribe if you want, and I will see you next time. Bye! I'm obsessed with the fact that this was 8 hours of footage edited down. And in those 8 hours, I only probably realized like 5 hours in, oh, I should draw Emil. And I think if he knew that, he'd kill me.